Next up, we have a use case session on the topic building a purpose-driven and sustainable organization. And our speaker is Maria Simonson, Head of Group Sustainability, Danske Bank. Maria has a strong performance in supporting and aligning with the business, whilst also challenging the business to take on and add the perspective of sustainability to develop the offerings and processes. Pleasure to have you here with us, Maria. Over to you.
Thank you, Justin, for that introduction. Hi, everyone, and thank you, nasscom, for this opportunity to be part of today's program and share some examples on how we're working to drive sustainable progress. My name is Maria Simonson, and I'm head of the Group Sustainability Unit in Danske Bank. I'm very happy that today's technology allows us to take part of these discussions across the globe and that I'm allowed to join from the Nordics. I think that especially on this kind of topic, it's important that we share examples and best practices. For those of you who don't know Danske Bank, we're a Nordic financial institution. We're above 22,000 people servicing our 3 million customers across the Nordics. In addition to our home markets, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, and Finland, we also have colleagues in Lithuania and India who are working to develop some of the new digital solutions for our customers for tomorrow. Today, I will share some examples around how we work to drive sustainable progress. Thinking about today's topic raises an initial reflection on what is really the purpose of banks. And I thought that it was relevant to consult Google, seeing that the outset of this conference is technology. And if you consult Google and you write the purpose of banks, you get 2.4 billion hits. And you read that banks are a key component of the financial system and the role is to allocate funds from savers to borrowers in an effective manner, and that the specialized services help to make the overall economy efficient. If you then add sustainable development, you get an additional 530 hits. And then you read that sustainable finance is absolutely key to enable sustainable progress. And I completely agree to that. From where we're looking today, the financial sector is increasingly taking a central role in this sustainability transition by facilitating sustainable financing and investing solutions that this space will need going forward. We see 4 key drivers for the moment. One is that our Nordic customers are demanding and expecting us to provide them with solutions and advice to manage this transition going forward. This rapid climate transition will also mean that we will see new winners and new losers for tomorrow. This makes the area of risk management specifically important for us to manage as a bank and for our companies. The third thing is that this area is becoming an increasing area of competition for us, which is good because we want the new solutions and the new technologies to get funding and to get the investments needed. But we also need to do that with a clear view on prudent risk management and stability for the region. The fourth element that is driving us in the Nordics working with sustainable finance is the regulation and the policies. And seeing how bold ambitions the EU and the Nordic countries have, we see that this part of regulation will clearly drive us going forward and will completely revamp how we see finance. So our approach to sustainability is directly linked to who we are and what we do. On the one hand, we have our core business, which is enabling our customers to have the sustainable solutions for tomorrow. The other part is that we're also a company in the Nordics and in the world with 22,000 employees, and there we work with well-being and diversity and inclusion to help make sure that we also create value going forward for people with ambition. We also work with the communities we are operating in. We have a program towards entrepreneurs and startups where we help them access talent, help them access investors, and help them grow and develop the new technologies and businesses for tomorrow. The other part is that we also actively engage in driving financial confidence for young and for the next generations to come. Obviously, we also work with governance and integrity. That's a core platform for us to drive our business forward. So coming into how we're financing the transition, one thing is that we're developing new products and solutions. We have seen the development of green loans and sustainability loans. We have also seen a huge part of funding coming from the capital markets. And here we're one of the top leading banks in originating and helping customers into the green, sustainable, and social bond markets. The other part, which we also do, which we firmly believe is the power of finance, is to also make sure that we withdraw finance where we don't believe that there is a viable business model going forward. We've recently launched here statements around what we are funding and what we're not funding in the area of fossil fuels. The other part where we work intensively is to mainstream sustainability into risk management. And here we're building tools to assess both on a single name basis, but also on a portfolio basis, ESG considerations, environmental, socials, and governance aspects. We do that both in our lending practices, but also when we invest in our asset management. We're also working intensely to develop our knowledge and methodologies around climate scenarios, which we are increasingly using as part of our credit assessment. But for all of this to happen, we are also heavily dependent on data. Data is still scattered. There's not a unified way to report your sustainability credentials. Luckily, the EU is working to drive sustainability reporting standards also here. It will take a while. So in the meanwhile, we're working intensely, both in the sector, in the industry, but also together with our customers to see what are the data that is mostly relevant for us to assess when assessing sustainability going forward. But this is an area where we see there will be huge activities going forward. And we're also increasingly aware that the smaller companies, they will also need support for this, and they will need our help in navigating this going forward. Lastly, sustainability is about long-term value creation. And for this to happen, it needs to be everyone's business. It's not a sprint, but more of a marathon. And looking further ahead, I see that we are embedding sustainability into everything we do, which means into our core strategies, into our governance, and into how we develop our culture. And for that last part, we're working intensely with our leaders. We're also making sure that there is education and training for everyone to be involved, because we firmly believe that if you integrate sustainability, you get the business innovation and you see the risks that you need to work with for tomorrow. That is why sustainability cannot be a project on the side. In regards to transparency, we've been developing our reporting in this area for the past years. We currently have a sustainability report. We have a sustainability fact book where we disclose our data that investors and other stakeholders are interested in. In addition to that, we're also developing specialized reports such as climate disclosure reports, how we are as an active owner, how we are voting in our responsible investment universe, and so forth. This is an area I think that will only develop going forward. And also here we have the EU developing reporting standards, which will harmonize and standardize sustainability reporting going forward. It will also drive sustainability reporting into the management reports and annual reports of companies. And this obviously makes it, when we are assessing companies, so much better because we have reliable data, we have comparable data, and we also have consistent data where we know that we're comparing apples with apples instead of today where we don't know exactly what goes into different companies' sustainability reports. With that, I would just like to conclude that this is an area which has been in fast development for the past 5-6 years, but this is really only the end of the beginning. What we see now is the next shift to sustainable investments, and this will have to be done at a fast pace, but still keeping a very close view on our risks, but also making sure that we're here to financing our companies and our customers going forward. And with that, I would really like to say, I hope you have a great conference, and thank you. And over to you, Justin.
Thank you, Maria, for that insightful presentation and for your perspectives.